welcoming our existing family and soon to be to our channel Awesome Amazing Life, a journey or a destination. I have recently got very fond of using stories to put my point across. I have come to believe that it is the simplest and yet the most effective and powerful way to put a point. So today, let me start with a story that my dad used to tell me when I was young. This is the story of a frog and a snake who got into an argument about who is more powerful. So they agreed to test it out. Every day, a farmer used to cross the farmland they used to live on. So they agreed on a bet as to who could kill the farmer. The smart frog suggested a way to go about it. It was agreed that first the snake would bite him and the frog would hop past the farmer's way. Then the frog would bite him next and the snake would slither past his way. This way, each one of them could capture the pain and the fear of the bite on the farmer's face that could help ascertain the results without any ambiguity. And they did exactly the same. Next morning, the snake bit him and remained hidden under the grass cover while the frog hopped past his way coming out of the grass. Farmer experienced the pain and the fear for a brief moment, but seeing the frog come out of the grass, he calmed down and went his way. On his way back in the afternoon, the frog bit him and stayed hidden in the grass while the snake emerged and slithered its way across the farmer's path. Seeing the snake, the farmer was terrified and his heart started to pump faster. The increased blood pressure due to anxiety caused the poison from the snake's bite in the morning spread quickly in his bloodstream and the farmer died instantly. I would like to ask you all, did the frog really kill the farmer? Or did the anxiety and stress cause the death? Have we all also not suffered the stress in our lives as well? It has impacted us at the physiological, behavioral, and psychological levels. Stress has often amplified the impact of the issue in our life way beyond its real actual burden. It hampers our ability and diminishes our performance under pressure unless it is managed properly. So why do we experience stress and what could we do to manage it well? While there could be several stressors, by stressors I mean the problems or situations which provoke stress, but the underlying reason that attributes to all of them is the fear within us. So the first thing that we need to do to manage stress is to manage our fears. And typically the best way to do so is to face the fear right in its eye. Let me tell you another story to explain what am I saying. Once a king with his favorite courtiers set out for a voyage and sailed out in the open sea. However, as the ship moved away from the land, one of his courtiers, who had never been on sea before, began to overcome with panic. Sitting on the ship deck, he cried, he shouted, he howled, he refused to even eat and sleep. 2 days passed like this. Many people, including the king, tried to calm him down, but he wouldn't listen. What should have been fun turned into a tormented voyage for everyone. King didn't know what to do and thought maybe it's best to return back to the port. Just then, a wise man came to him and sought his permission to try his way to calm the courtier, but without any questions. The king readily said yes without any second thoughts. He even offered a reward if this man was successful in solving the problem. This wise man immediately had the courtier thrown off the ship into the sea. Courtier thrashed about and sank, swallowed plenty of water. He returned to the surface and screamed louder than ever and sank again. This happened a couple of times And then the wise man ordered him to be dragged back on board. Courtier was brought back on the ship, and to everyone's surprise, there was not even a single complaint from him. He was absolutely calm, and the rest of the journey was peaceful. Everyone had a pleasurable, peaceful experience. The king sought for that wise man at the end of the voyage and asked him, "How did you know that by throwing him into the sea, he could be calmed down?" The man replied, "Because of my marriage experience. After my marriage, I was always terrified of losing my wife and would never stop shouting and screaming at her like that man on the ship. This inner confidence constantly acts as a source of courage and determination. One day, my wife couldn't take it anymore and left me. Living without her was a terrible experience for me. She only returned when I promised her that I would never shout at her or torment her with my fear." In the same way, the man had never tasted the salt water and had never known agony of a drowning man. But when he was thrown into the ocean and taken back on the ship, only then he understood how marvelous it was to feel the planks of the ship under his feet. Him facing his fear led to less anxiety about it, and he was able to handle situation more calmly. So, stress is our way to try, overcome or hide our fears. Not a very good one though, isn't it? Won't you agree? Instead, to keep calm, face it and get rid of it forever would be the best. The next thing that one needs to do is to take breaks. Like every other burden, stress too tires you down. If you carry it for too long, it will impair your abilities and cause short-term to long-term damages, depending on how long you continuously carry it. It is like holding a glass of water. Impact on your hand isn't as much by the absolute weight of the glass as is because of how long you try to hold it. If you hold it for a minute, that's not a problem. But if you hold it for an hour, you will have an ache in the arm. And if you hold it for a day, you will need an ambulance. In each of the cases, it is the same weight. But the longer you hold on to it, the heavier it seems to become. And that's the way it is with stress management as well. If you carry your burdens all the time, sooner or later, as with a glass of water, the burden will become increasingly heavy and you won't be able to carry on. You have to put it down for a while and rest before holding it again. When we are refreshed, we can carry on with the burden. So take time and put your burdens down and relax. Take stock of the good things in life. Yes, that positive outlook is a big factor that energizes you and helps you cope with the burden of the stress. I'm sure you would agree, life is short. Why make it stressful? Why not enjoy it? Make efforts towards it. You will find it surprisingly simpler than you actually first thought. Few things you could adopt to achieve this could include: number one, prioritize your tasks to take out stress about time in your life. We all face shortage of time and often complain about it. The problem is not with the time, because each one of us have only 24 hours. It's when we are not able to prioritize and relate with that prioritization and end up doing things which were of lesser importance and miss out on more important aspects in life, we feel stressed for time. Number two, face your fears, as we spoke of in the story. Focus on handling your fears than stressing about it. Be realistic in your goals. Acknowledge your shortcomings. Yes, be comfortable with your imperfections, because no one is perfect. Mind your thoughts. That's the only place the stress breathes. Meditate to relax. Sleep well. Listen to good music. Cry if you want to. Talk it out. Do whatever it takes to vent the stress out. And yes, do it at the earliest possible. Seek help or guidance from others instead of complaining. Focus on solution than focusing on problem. Keep the things that are going well in your life in the focus all the time. Build strong relationships with family and friends. That is the strongest stress buster ever. Believe in yourself. Think positive and make little stress motivate you to perform well instead of panicking. Agree to the fact that there are things in life that you can control. And then there are those things that you cannot control. Sooner you agree with this and refuse to stress yourself about what you cannot control in life, life will become a pleasant experience. Go with the flow of life. Do your best. Accept the best. But just don't overindulge in the thoughts about what could have been. Be in control of what goes inside you, and then you would see what goes on outside won't stress you out anymore. If you like this video, please comment, share and press the like button. And if you haven't already done so, don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, thank you, Tara.